Hey guys, and welcome to the first of our off-season reviews. We're going to go through all 30 NBA teams, reviewing all the moves they've made in the off-season, the contract situation, the depth chart, and the overall off-season. And at the end, I will give it a grade, of course, on the normal scale, C being average all the way up to A+, and all the way down to F-. So, we are starting with the first team in the league, and that would be the Atlanta Hawks. Two major moves they've made in the past 2 months. One, the draft day trade, sending Luka Doncic to Dallas in exchange for Trae Young and a 2019 top 5 protected pick. Also, the trade they just made, I believe yesterday at the time of this recording, getting Melo, and they're going to buy out Carmelo Anthony, getting a 2022 first-round protected pick from OKC, and sending Dennis Schroeder to OKC. So, going over the first moves, the Trae Young deal, I've talked about this in detail multiple times before, so I'm not going to get too into the weeds on this one. Trae Young, a couple questions on him. Shot selection, size, defensive ability. We know he can shoot it from range. We don't know if he knows when to shoot it from range. Looks like a really fantastic playmaker, replacing Dennis Schroeder, who they sent in the Carmelo Anthony deal. But you also get that 2019 top 5 protected pick. Dallas now has DeAndre Jordan. They had Dennis Smith Jr., Luka Doncic, so their pick is not going to be in the top 5. But there may be some growing pains with Doncic and Dennis Smith Jr., so who knows, that pick could land 6 through 12, somewhere in that late lottery, and the Hawks could get another player to pair with Trae Young. Other draft picks they got Kevin Huerter, Omari Spellman. Kevin Huerter I'm really high on out of Maryland. Looks like a really good shooter. So I'm liking the draft picks outside of the whole Trae Young deal. Looking at that Carmelo Anthony deal, they got Carmelo Anthony and his $28 million salary, who they are going to buy out, paying the entire $28 million, and they're going to have that spot open up. They got that 2022 first-round pick from OKC, but that 2022 pick is actually pretty interesting. For the 2022-23 season, as you can see here, the only player that the Thunder will have under contract will be Russell Westbrook, and he will be nearly 35 years of age at that point. He's going to be getting paid $47 million, which is absolutely insane. But Paul George is gone. Steven Adams, they may have to re-sign. Pretty much Russell Westbrook is the only guy that they're going to have at that point. Paul George is actually going to be about 32 if he accepts that player option at the end. So that 2022 pick, with its protection, may still give the Hawks some sort of option in that draft class, which is, be it 5 years away. They sent away Mike Muscala, and to me, Dennis Schroeder. They invested about 3 years, $55 million in Dennis Schroeder. I thought they would give him a little bit more rope. He was the quote-unquote guard of the future for Atlanta, but he's been average for his salary. He truly has. Looking at the rest of the salary, actually, the Hawks are a bit of a conundrum. They got Jeremy Lin in a trade earlier this offseason, but looking at the salary cap for the Atlanta Hawks, you have Melo's contract, who's voided, $28 million. Besides that, Kent Bazemore, who's been an okay guard for them coming off the bench, he's on this year for $18 million, and next year as an option for $19 million. So that's eating up a lot of salary cap. He is by no means worth that whatsoever. Jeremy Lin's going to be an expiring contract, $12 million. Miles Plumlee is a bad contract for them, $12.5 million for 2 years. They're going to need to either ride that out and just possibly do a buyout, or move him to a team like the Bulls or the Kings that is willing to absorb that contract, but with some other assets involved. Dwayne Dedmon is going to be an expiring contract. Trae Young, you got him for these 2 years, which are guaranteed of his contract. Then you had the 2-year team option, and then you have the player option for $11 million after that. So you got Trae Young locked in for at least 4, possibly 5 years. Taurean Prince, who's a pretty good small forward for them. You have him on the last year of his rookie contract. Then you have a team option for 3.4 and a player option for 5. So you have him for at least 2 more years. Justin Anderson you have for another year. John Collins you have for at least 3 more years, so that's pretty good. Herter and Spellman you have. So you have a lot of rookies and a lot of young players. Young, Kevin Herter, Prince, Spellman, Collins, all locked in for about 3 to 4 years. So you're going to have time to develop those guys, really see who is worth the money, who is worth that max contract that you're willing to dole out in 3-4 years. The depth chart for the Atlanta Hawks. They're clearly going to be in a rebuilding mode. They have been in rebuilding mode. They continue will be. Trae Young at the 1 with Jeremy Lin as a backup. Bazemore, Taurean Prince, John Collins, and Dedmon. This team is going to be competing for another top 5 pick. There is no way they're going to... Maybe in the Eastern Conference they have a glimpse of trying to make some sort of playoff push. But they're going to need extreme seasons from Trae Young, a bounce-back season from Kent Bazemore, and John Collins really to take off on the offensive end. But looking back at the entire Atlanta Hawks offseason, I'll give it a C- to a D+. They trade away a surefire player in Luka Doncic for a pick and a possible buster boom player in Trae Young. They ate $28 million in cap space from Carmelo and sent away Dennis Schroeder. So yeah, I'd probably, final grade, Hawks are getting a D+ for this offseason. But guys, that will be all for today. That was my Hawks offseason review. D+ grade for them. Give me your grade for the Hawks offseason in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll be back with the next team in our offseason rebuilds.